Now then, girls and boys, we got Sandwich giving us the update regarding Shiba Eternity and its tournament, and Lucy regarding Shibarium. Now then, Sandwich, take over and let us know what's going on this week.
So this week, Immortal Dante took first place, and I can't really call him an underdog because he's consistently in the top three at these tournaments. However, he is an underdog in that this is his first championship finish in the Shibarium Tech series. So this is actually, as much as Dante has placed second and third, this is the first time he actually took first place. So congratulations to him. He also knocked me out of the winner's bracket, so that's a win. And another member of Team Burma, for those of you who don't know, Dante is from Burma, and he has got an elite squad of players that he brings into the tournaments. And so one of his members of his team, Shiboshi Shanks, took place, second place. And Shiboshi Shanks is a player who's just become super consistent. He has in the past he has placed in the last three tournaments, either second or third in the past three, and he's played in a lot of tournaments, but in the past 2 months he has really started showing up in the finals frequently. uh, and then finally, our Cinderella story. He's been called the angriest man on ladder. Shib King had an amazing run to secure third place and securing his first ever top three placement. So big shout out to Shib King. Um, and I'm going to bring him up first, and then we'll bring up Dante to talk about the finals. But I think I like to look at the storylines of the tournament, and for me, there was two this weekend. One is the underdog story, because some big names, Semper Sage, who's a who's gotten the championship multiple times. He's always on the podium. He was a knocked out round one by Bell Bell, who is a player who is consistently on ladder and playing in tournaments, but hasn't won a championship. But she managed to knock him out round one to the surprise of everyone. Um, Dante knocked me out in one of the later rounds, and then Cow, who's the host and originator of these tournaments, and actually one of the OG champions, he knocked me out of the lower bracket, and he was very, very close to going back up onto the podium. He and Shiboshi Shanks were sort of dueling back and forth with these super aggressive orange weapon decks. And I really thought Cow was going to get back up on the podium. And with him and Shib King both up there, it really would have been an underdog tournament. But Shanks ended up beating him and going on to take second place. Um, let's see. Oh, so Shib King had a really amazing run, knocking out Shiba Gaming Dad 2-1, Zero Phantom 2-0, and then he took out IT Shiba, who is a multi-championship winning player. Not quite in the finals, but almost in round six, almost at the semifinals. Shib King 2-0'd IT Shiba, which is quite a feat. And so he secured his place on the podium with that run, but eventually got knocked out by Shiboshi Shanks. And we'll definitely talk to him in just a second about his run. And the second thing, because this kind of blew my mind, because Cow has been working on this for a while and occasionally beating me with it. Well, frequently beating me with it, actually, on ladder, is an orange weapon deck. And Shiboshi Shanks is also playing an orange weapon deck. Who, and if you don't know, orange weapon deck, at least for right now, is sort of a non-traditional deck. Like if you play orange, you either play it as sort of like a zoo style, like swarm the deck, swarm the board kind of deck, and you don't run, at least I don't. I frequently run orange in tournaments, and I never really put more than two weapons or three in my deck. But I think Cow has kind of popularized this really aggressive orange weapon deck that has been really effective. And I think it has people questioning. Right now, the top deck has frequently been a variation of a blue weapon deck because it has silences, it's high damage, it's very aggressive. And I think enough people are starting to question whether or not an orange weapon deck can actually displace a blue weapon deck as a top performer. I've consistently felt that orange was like an A tier deck. Blue is my only S tier deck, and but orange is definitely close behind it. And so it may be, if people fine tune these orange weapon decks, that who knows? I mean, it could be the strongest deck on ladder. Well, not on ladder, but in tournaments. So um, that's all I've got to say for right now. Let's see if we can get Shib King up here to talk about his run a little bit. And then we'll see if either Dante or Cow or somebody wants to come up. And then we'll do a couple of questions at the end. All right. Shib King, see if you can unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandwich, everybody coming out. Thank you to Brown Cow for starting all these tournaments for everybody. Thank you to Mazrael and Shaitoshi, of course, everybody. Congratulations, Dante, my buddy. His first Shibarium Tech championship. He deserved it. We got Shiboshi Shanks. He's tough. My first time placing in the podium. I was very excited.
So can you
Yeah.
tell me about, because I don't think I got to see your deck. I know you'd been practicing with it on ladder. So tell me about the new deck that you brought. That, I mean, you really had a lot of success with it, and kind of tell me what your strategy was and what the deck was.
Well, I always liked, I always used purple deck forever, and
Yeah.
I was stuck with, I just realized I just couldn't compete in tournaments with it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fast enough. It's very reactive. Like if somebody wasn't playing a fast deck and we got to like round 10, like I'm gonna win. Like if we went deep into rounds, with that deck, I would always come out. But
Hmm.
with year and year on, when I'm playing weapons or spells, somebody has like a no head, they're using or look forward,
Yeah.
and they're just casting spells. I just realized like I had to do something to compete, so I went with blue deck. I went to blue deck, Chujitsu with no head. So I had the eel, uh, the eel spell,
The
and
yeah, the 5 damage electrify.
yeah, 5 damn, and you steal one of their cards, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? 3D glasses.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was big. You get the I'm not. What's the speedy weapon? I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah, the 4 cost speedy that removes.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
you could buy. If you get like, the deck, you could have two 3D glasses. Never really got like two in my hand at one time, but one 3D glasses with that speedy, and if you use the claw, you buff it up once with the claw. Um, that's 14 damage right there.
Mhm.
So, but I started out in the beginning, early on. There was some people, some names I didn't recognize. My first round, he was pretty good. He was using a, I don't even say this right. The what do you call it? The tech. What do you call it? The tech deck. What do you call that one? Taekwondo or
Yeah. Yeah.
the light blue one? No one
Yeah.
plays. He was actually playing that, and he set up really well with a lot of guardians. And I had I was doing what you won with last tournament. You beat Dante with the orange sold early
Yeah, yeah.
clown head orange. So I made my own. So I started with that. I got lucky. I got sold early. I lowered the board with minions, and I was able to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
But he got discouraged. He didn't want to. He didn't want to play me a second game.
Mm.
I was trying to encourage him to, and he forfeited. I was trying to tell him I got lucky with my cards, and you actually look pretty strong. I got lucky,
But so
but
you managed to beat him with the orange meme deck.
what's that?
You beat him with the orange meme deck, the multiplying menace deck.
Yeah, yep. It sold early. Clown hair sold early.
So how far did you take that in the tournament before you switched to the blue deck?
Well, as soon as I let me think. Obviously, I switched for Trunk for IT Shiba.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I would need it against him.
Yeah.
Um, I probably trying to think who my second opponent. I'm trying to. It was like a bunch of numbers. I don't even think it was a name. It was my second or third opponent. Pretty sure. I'm not even sure how many matches I had. Frankly, I think I.
Yeah, no, you had I'm not sure the Joker was who knocked out and you Shiba had zero and-
Can you hear me?
yeah, it sounds like you're in a
Okay.
windstorm.
I'm actually at a water park.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. But so I switched. I think I went through the third round. I switched it up. I
So
didn't go straight to the weapons deck though right away. I had another Boshi. I was using what was it? Not blue, purple. I'm trying to think. But yeah, 100% used it against IT Shiba.
so that was I mean that's impressive. You would IT Shiba. So what was the deck more aggressive or what happened?
Yeah, he's a great player. I got a lot of respect for him. I actually have only faced him twice in tournament play, and I beat him both times. And I don't know how, because he's a previous champion. He's placed second a bunch of times. So I don't know. I just got his number in the tournament. When I play him in ranked, I mean, he's beaten me, dozens of times in
Yeah.
ranked, but
Yeah.
I got him 2-0 in the tournament play.
Oh well, congrats
So,
on that. And what who did Shank knock you out? So what happened?
well, look, I had Dante in the winners bracket, and the winner would have went to the finals. Now Dante, 2 days ago, I I beat him. We played. We won best of three. We were like, all right, let's go. Like, we're gonna do best of three, and we were serious. We played you used our best Boshis, and I beat him two games to three. I beat him. I beat him 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
and he saw that Boshi with the 3D glasses, the one I was using,
Mm-hmm.
and he figured I would use that in a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was telling me the whole time. He was waiting for it, and I figured he would load up. He would pick a deck with a lot of guardians, and I would have, it would be very ineffective to use that. So it kind of psyched me out, and I didn't use that against him. I went with the orange sold early
Oh,
clown hair orange deck, and I started with two sold earlies in my hand, but I never got the minion.
oh damn.
So I had like nothing, and he killed me. And then, so now I'm just on tilt instead of just going with the blue, the 3D glasses blue deck. I go full panic mode, and I go into my Boshi. I go into my collection.
Oh boy.
Not even into my. I'm into the collection. I pull a Boshi out of my collection that I never would have. I would have never thought I was going to use in a tournament. I don't know what I was thinking. I think because I pulled one out with horns. He was using Boshi with horns, and I was figuring let me get one with horns, and um yeah, that was dumb. I actually though that second game he loaded up twice with armor, 12 armor.
Uh huh.
And he actually beat me that second game. He only had one stamina left, 1 HP left, and so basically, I mean, I hit him. He added 12, so I hit him 41 times.
Yeah.
So, but he still ended up beating me. So I actually got really that second game was close. Had him down to one, and like I said, he added 12 armor, so I really hit him 41 times. But he
Yeah.
still won, knocked me down to the
Love.
yeah. And you know what? And you told me play him right away. I didn't listen. We had a long delay before I played Dante. And the whole time, like it was like 2 hours. The whole 2 hours, I'm like, oh, I'm looking at the bracket. I'm like, oh, the worst I can do is third place. And I should just played. Just played him right away. Played with the Boshi. I beat him with the day before and just went and I should just played him right away and
Yeah, I think
uh,
you gotta just one put your best foot forward because it's a game find yourself out and back down. Better that. If you don't mind, I'm gonna talk to Dante about a backer.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, real quick. Yeah, Saboshi Shanks. He beat me pretty handedly. Um, well, he beat me 2-0, but like I got him down with like within five. He had like 5 health left, but he beat me pretty handedly.
Yeah, I mean, he's played really aggressive decks and gotten some this. I think question any aggressive this or aggressive out.
Okay.
Those are the two ways you can go.
Yeah, that's and I'm just that was my first time on the podium. Like you said, I was very happy. I'm proud of myself. I'm sure you guys were too. Everybody was like cheering me on, but
Yeah, dude. All right, congrats, man. It was a great run, and
great,
thanks for speaking, everybody.
great. Thank you, everybody.
All right, appreciate you, man.
Bye.
All right. Let's see if Dante wants to talk a little bit. Dante, you there? All right. Wow.
Thanks.
Your
Yeah,
first
thanks for watching
championship
Twitter.
Shibarium Tech Discord server.
Yeah, finally, the first in the Shibarium server. Yeah.
Congrats, man.
So yeah, man. So Howard finally paid off. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, you and him are just dominating right now. I mean, Kelvin and Zalin are also solid, but it seems like Shanks is the most consistent after you.
Yes, because I coach him. He doesn't have many bullshit actually, but he got lucky with the meme shade. So
Yeah,
he's able to cover the weakness of the orange deck.
yeah,
He's able to steal weapon. So that's how he won. He won against Itea too.
mm,
He stole his weapons, blue weapons, and then throw it back at him. Yeah,
yeah.
and it costs like 1 energy, so it's like cost effective as well. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's super cost effective. Is your main deck right now? Is it the blue deck Devil Horn with Monocle and the steel?
and yeah, with a steel armor and a flame. So
the reason I chose this is because including Carl and everyone is like going 3D glasses. I tell you too.
Yeah.
So they will like hit you at turn 7 with like 14 damage for sure. So that burst damage is like very high. So you gotta like armor up in the earlier rounds
Yeah.
so that you survive that. Now, if you have like 17 HP, it's no longer considered safe because like Carl, he can hit you hard with the Azure glass, with the orange deck. So that also can
Yeah.
hit
So
very hard.
for everyone that doesn't know, the typical weapon combo with blue is you have a four cost weapon that you can attack twice with that does 2 damage, and the usual combo would be you would put the leash on it for +4 damage, and then you can use the 1 cost Shib power, and that puts you up at I think 12 to 14 damage. But it's
Yeah,
expensive. It costs you 8 or 9 mana, and so now with people using smaller cost weapon buff, so things like
yeah,
spray or rock out, which give you +2 damage or +4 damage, but they're half the cost. Um, that is
yeah,
bumping up people's weapon combo damage into like the 16, 18 range, depending on how much mana you have to spend. Now, of course, you're adding an additional card into that combo. So rather than consistently doing 12 damage with a 2 card combo, you're now going to do like 18 damage, but it's a 3 card combo. But the cards are so cheap that it's a surprising amount of damage that can come out for relatively cheap. And that's something that, yeah, Cow does in his orange aggro deck. And it's brutal. It definitely feels much faster and even more efficient than the usual blue 12 damage combo.
yes, correct. So my deck is actually because the usual blue will give you the early strong
Mm-hmm.
start, but for the late game, I have I have like 4 board clear, I guess, 2 from flame and then 2 from call all to hell. So basically, if I'm losing, I can just turn it around really
Mm-hmm.
quick. Also, flame would like get rid of enemy guardians easily because it's able to do up to 7 damage. So no guardians or orange minions can survive that kind of damage. Even princess, you can take it down with that. So that's why that deck has 4 board clears, also 12 armors from the steel, and they have a very strong closing fighters, which is the princess from the devil
Mm-hmm.
horn, and the two Sam, which are like
Yeah,
tough
Stainless
fighters.
Sam is one of the best things in
Yeah,
the game, especially at that cost.
yeah, definitely.
So you're
So
able to, I mean, because typically the problem with Devil Horns has been that it's a little bit slower than the straight aggro weapon decks with either Nunhead, Laser Visor, that kind of thing. So are you able to beat that just due to your armor?
yes, it's actually because by turn 6 I would have princess, and once you have princess, uh, the non-head weapon users they can't stand up to you very
Mm-hmm.
much. By turn 7 they should be dead. So because there's a chance to draw princess and also 2 stainless Sam, you drop either one is fine, and it will really pressure them in turn 7 already.
Mm.
Because I am also hitting them with my own weapons and also with Sam or princess. So it's actually basically done deal by turn 7.
Mm-hmm.
So the other turns is I'm just playing like a control game. I just play defense and just try to win the board and control it. That's all. And then I finish it in turn 6 or turn 7 most likely.
So a combination of princess and then weapon damage over the top.
Yeah, and then I just armor up so that yeah, even when I was playing against you, the first match was like I think it went well very fast.
Yeah,
Second match is you hit me with that leash,
yeah,
that leash weapon. I knew you were gonna hit me very hard, but I was trying to get that armor, but I wasn't able to get it. So I lost to you at the second match.
yeah. I was worried you were
And,
digging for it. I know you were looking for.
and the third match was I thought I was gonna win it. I had like I think 25
Hmm.
HP. You were like pretty much done by one more turn, yeah? And somehow you managed to do like I think 23 damage to me.
Yeah, you were 20. Me and Al were talking afterwards and really scrutinized. I think I don't know. Like we were really scrutinizing it to see if I could have gotten an extra 3 damage somehow, but I don't have a recording of it, so we'll never know. But no, I brought a green combo deck to this tournament that I've been playing on ladder a lot, and it's been quite successful, but I've never broken it in for a tournament, so I decided to take it for a spin. And yeah, I only played it that one match and I lost, so I'm still on the fence about it. But it's one of these decks where you have to cast, 10 plus spells in a turn. And so your turn timer actually starts to tick down with the animation spells and the draw animation. You've got to play out 10, 12 spells. And if you're not on top of your sequencing, then you just won't have time. And so what happened with Dante was I was like, I knew I was going to die the next turn, and I actually didn't have my full combo. I had to draw for it. So I was just like, okay, I got nothing else to do. So I had to drop my combo cards. Um, and it's I can never remember the name. It's the 0/6 green sloth that does 2 damage when you draw, and then green also has a
Yeah.
5 cost card that makes you draw every time you cast a spell, and you combine that with sold early, and you can just go into this almost like infinite combo of drawing and dealing 2 damage. And so I just had to start drawing, and I dealt like 22, 23 damage, and my turn was about to end, and I was like, I gotta do one more thing, and I played a weapon rather than casting a spell, and yeah, Dante took it. It was, and then yeah, and then Cow knocked me out in the lowers.
Yeah. I was rooting for that so that I won't meet you again.
So so what was
uh,
the what did Shanks? It looks like you made quick work of Shanks in the finals, huh?
yeah, because I got lucky like you. I got two cutter butter. So that was it. It was like very easy start and like I think by turn seven it was done both
Yeah,
matches,
that's the dream,
So
cutter butter dream.
two cutter butter is like really gives you a big advantage, And in turn three you can use weapons and to pressure your enemy also. So
Hold on a sec.
yeah.
Cow, raise your hand if you want to talk about the orange aggro deck. Otherwise, I'll just talk to Dante about it.
Oh, he needs. I'm actually copying his and testing it right now. It's actually the 3D cowboy is better on on orange deck, the 3D
Mm.
glasses, because I think he showed us that there's a cheap weapon in an orange, which can do speedy that we weren't aware of. It only costs one energy.
Yeah, I mean, I've
So,
just been wondering because so the blue weapon deck has been the go-to because it has, in my opinion, I mean, it has the strongest early game minions in the game. You have Cutter Butter, you have Whiskey, and then you have the Pupper, the 2/4
yeah.
minion, and those are the three strongest starting minions in the game. The thing is, blue doesn't have good minions after that. blue just falls off after you play your 3 cost. You really aren't. Originally people were playing the 5 cost, the Historian Hoots, which is not a particularly good card, but it
Yeah.
has card draw on it. But then you have the weapons, and the weapons are what make blue so strong. And I think with the orange weapon deck, it's a little more iffy in the early game. Like if you play, like, Cow's deck has the Sombrero, which gives you access to the Siesta, the 1 cost 2/2, which is just a broken card. And so even though orange doesn't have the strongest opening, if you can pair it with a trait that boosts its early game. So Cow is running Astro and Sombrero, which both can really amp up your early game, with the 3/4 buff that costs 2, and that kind of fills in a weakness of the orange deck. And then orange weapons, again, they're more aggressive, but like less efficient, and they're also cheaper. And so you can, if you have the right cards, you can do more damage for less energy, earlier in the game than the blue weapons decks. And so we'll have to see. I think not enough people have kind of played that out yet, to see which one is better. What's your take on that, Dante?
I strongly feel that I think orange is a stronger weapon deck and more aggressive because you also have more win condition, I guess. Like, let's say if I'm going to play a sombrero or 3D glasses, because if you get lucky with a queen early drop, uh, yeah, by turn 3 or 4, you will have a big head start already. And last time people used to play like only sombrero and army branching out, but now it's a mix of you can do that, but it's also a weapon deck as well. So it's meant to be played very aggressively, and you have like 2 to 3 different options. Like Carl, for example, he can buff it with a Astro, or he can drop a Queen, or he can try to get lucky with a X-ray 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has like 3 different ways of getting lucky.
Yeah, multiple win conditions. Al, you wanna chime in?
Hello. Yeah, you guys said it pretty well. The way to win with that deck is definitely to control the tempo, not let the enemy have any minions early. And orange has a lot of ways to clear the early minions with the cheap weapon and the cheap spells.
Yeah, that's what keeps occurring to me. I mean, to me, like, baseline, the 3 cost 5 damage for blue is like one of the most powerful, most efficient early board clears. But then orange has that like on steroids, where you're doing 3 damage for 1, and it's such an amazing tempo play to be able to drop that, clear 1, maybe 2 minions, and then start building your own board.
Yeah, putting out 1 strong minion early and then buffing it with Astro is pretty much a guaranteed win for that deck, and then you clean up with weapons later on mid game.
But see, do you think like blue, you can kind of pull off the blue weapon deck with like a real variety of traits? Do you think that the orange weapon deck is going to work if you don't have like Sombrero or Astro?
No, it's key. Like all these things combo together really well. You're able to control the board well with the alphas and eager minions. You can flood the board really easy, and it's like you have so much tempo in the beginning, the opponent can't catch up, and usually you can run them over, even if they do armor up.
And can you explain for everybody the one energy weapon, like, that turns into a
Yeah, it's a 2 cost, and it's a 1/1 when you cast it, but it breaks after you use it one time. It breaks into a speedy, and so it's a really cheap speedy weapon, comboed with the 3D glasses. Can that makes some really, really efficient damage for really low cost.
So what is the combo that you try to run? Is it like a 5 is it 6 mana? But I guess you have to do it over 2 turns, huh? Because you.
No, I mean you can't. It's pretty rare to get both at once, so you just kind of pull them off whenever you
Oh,
have
okay.
them. Like if, like yeah, like if you have one in your hand, you try to use it just to get the damage out.
But you have to break the original weapon, and then you cast weapon
Yeah,
buff.
yeah, you can't have the speedy right away, so you have to kind of plan for it and think ahead a little bit.
And what happened in the game that you sent me on Discord where you said you did it wrong or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. I just figured it was in my head that you were gonna disarm me next turn, so I was gonna um I hit you directly anyways, but I ended up drawing a card next turn that would have given me enough damage to kill you had I not attacked you the previous turn with the extra speedy.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean, do you think, I don't know, I feel like there's gonna be a lot more orange aggro weapon decks in the next,
I think so too.
but it could be harder to pull off. I mean, like you said, orange really thrives on either building a large board, and it's going to be harder unless you have very specific traits to get that strong opening, because typically the just straight orange cards, you have a 0 cost 1/1, you have a 1/1 potential 2/2, and then you have one of the best weapons in the game. You have a 2 energy 3 attack weapon with 2 hits, but it's not always the strongest opening, and so not everyone's going to be lucky enough to have the sombrero astro combo.
Yeah, but with all these low cost cards in your deck, usually you have board presence on turn 1 or 2 most of the time, and if you don't, you have a weapon to clear their stuff.
Yeah. So who Shanks knocked you out, huh?
Yeah, he beat me twice, and looking back at the games, I'm confident I could have beat him both games if I played them a little smarter.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember watching in the uppers you go up against him, and I was sure like it was really neck and neck. And then because he was playing a variation of an orange weapon deck too, right?
Yeah, yeah, he was playing orange with weapons, but his cards were a little bit higher cost than mine, so I had a little bit more momentum.
Nice. And what did he switch over to? Did he switch over to a blue deck to beat you? It was the Wizard Meme
Yep.
Shade.
Yeah, blue with leash, meme shades, and nunhead. He was able to discard some of my
Uh,
cards, some of my combos really
gotcha.
effectively.
All right. All right.
Yeah, those games are up on my YouTube channel for anybody that's interested in watching and kind of seeing how they played
Oh,
out. Just out now, Brown Cow, Shiba Eternity on YouTube.
nice. Well, sweet. Well, I think unless Dante or you has anything else to say, I think we'll see if we can take a few questions if there are any. All right. Well, if anybody has a question, go ahead and raise a hand. Again, just questions about the game, about the tournament, nothing technical. This isn't the space for that, and I also don't know anything. Okay, cool. Well, if there aren't any questions, then I'll just go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Yeah, again, just wanted to say congratulations to all the new winners, Immortal Dante, Shiboshi Shanks, Shib King, and then, of course, want to shout out Brown Cow for hosting, Magic Shiba Starter for sponsoring, and then all the people over at Shibarium Tech. And we'll be doing another Spaces in another 2 weeks after the next tournament. And thanks everybody for coming through. And we will see you on the other side. Thank you, everyone.